Someone disrespected you today. Maybe they cut you off mid-sentence, like what you were saying didn't deserve air. Maybe they cancelled on you again with a lazy excuse they've used before. Maybe they made that small joke at your expense, and everyone laughed while you forced a smile to keep things smooth. You told yourself it wasn't a big deal. You said you were being mature. You convinced yourself you were above reacting. But here's what actually happened. They tested you, and you gave them data. Every social interaction is an experiment. Consciously or not, people are always asking one question: what can I get away with? Your reaction answers it. When you laugh it off, when you stay quiet, when you overextend grace, you're not being evolved. You're signaling that there is no cost, and when there's no cost, behavior repeats. Not because people are evil, but because humans optimize for advantage. If something works once without resistance, it becomes a strategy. This pattern is older than you, older than your job, your friendships, your relationship. Power dynamics have shaped human behavior for centuries. Niccolò Machiavelli observed rulers lose entire kingdoms, not because they lacked good intentions, but because they failed to control perception and consequence. He understood something uncomfortable. Humans do not consistently respect goodness. They respect structure. They respect strength. They respect the presence of consequence. You can have the purest heart in the room and still be ranked lowest if your behavior signals tolerance without limits. Right now, there is likely someone in your life quietly measuring you, watching how far they can lean before you push back. And if you haven't pushed back, they've already adjusted their behavior accordingly. Today, that ends. Because once you understand the rules beneath the surface, you stop playing the game blindly. First, accept something that may sting. Society runs on rank, not intentions. Your intentions are invisible. No one can see your loyalty, your patience, your empathy, unless it's expressed through behavior that commands weight. Within seconds of meeting you, people begin placing you somewhere in their internal hierarchy. Not consciously, not maliciously, but instinctively. Is this person above me? Below me? Equal? Do I need to impress them? Or can I test them? This is ancient wiring. For thousands of years, quickly assessing social rank meant survival. That software is still running. If you do not claim your position through firm behavior, one will be assigned to you, and default positions are rarely high. Think about someone in your life who never gets interrupted, never gets joked about disrespectfully, never gets dismissed. They aren't necessarily louder. They're clearer. Their boundaries are visible, and they enforce them once. That's enough. Now think about your last week. How many times did you let something slide? How many times did you explain yourself when a simple no would have sufficed? How many times did you absorb inconvenience to avoid tension? Each of those moments taught people something about you. Rank is not declared verbally, it is demonstrated behaviorally. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote that people judge more by what they see than what they feel. Your internal standards don't matter if your external actions contradict them. If you consistently tolerate small disrespect, you are training others to view you as safe territory. And once that label forms, everything shifts. Interruptions increase. Cancellations become casual. Jokes become sharper. Not because you deserve it, but because you have signaled that there is no penalty attached. Second, stop signaling safety. There is a difference between being kind and being harmless. Harmless people get tested. Watch any group dynamic. Notice who gets automatic space when they speak. Notice who rarely becomes the butt of jokes. It's not random. Those individuals radiate a quiet edge, not aggression, not hostility, just consequence. When someone crosses a line, they do not rush to soothe the moment. They allow discomfort to exist. You, on the other hand, may be over-smiling when you're actually irritated. You may be laughing to dissolve tension. You may be saying it's fine when it clearly isn't. Every one of those reactions broadcasts a message: I will not make this costly for you. And humans, by instinct, lean toward the path of least resistance. If you are that path, they will walk it repeatedly. Safety signals are subtle but powerful. Over-explaining your decisions signals negotiability. Immediate forgiveness signals low consequence. Instant availability signals abundance. When someone questions your choice and you launch into a detailed defense, you are unconsciously saying, "Convince me otherwise." When someone cancels and you immediately accommodate, you're saying, "My schedule adjusts to yours." When someone disrespects you and you rush to keep the mood light, you are rewarding the behavior with comfort. Niccolò Machiavelli argued that when forced to choose, it is safer to be feared than loved. He did not mean cruelty. He meant edge, a sense that crossing you has consequence. You do not need to be intimidating. You need to be firm enough that disrespect feels expensive. Remove the signals that make you look endlessly absorbent. Third, cut off emotional access. If someone can predict your reaction, they can control the interaction. Think about the last time someone triggered you. They knew exactly which topic to bring up, which insecurity to poke, which tone to use. And when they used it, you reacted. Your face shifted. Your voice tightened. You defended. In that instant, they gained leverage. They now know the button. And once a button is identified, it will be pressed again. Emotional predictability equals vulnerability. The more someone can move your internal state on demand, the more power they hold in that dynamic. That doesn't mean suppressing emotion. It means controlling its visibility. Not everyone earns access to your raw reactions, particularly not someone testing your boundaries. When provoked, neutralize your response. Calm face, even tone, minimal words, no visible shift. Let their attempt land on stone. What happens next is revealing. Often, they double down because they expected impact. When it doesn't arrive, they feel exposed. The game loses entertainment value when the reaction disappears. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming selective. Your emotional depth is valuable. It is reserved for those who respect you. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that perception shapes power. When others cannot read you easily, they approach you differently. They become more cautious, more measured. Because uncertainty commands more respect than overexposed emotion ever will. Fourth, name the disrespect once, then go silent. Most people either ignore violations or over-discuss them. Both approaches fail. Ignoring invites escalation. Over-discussing invites negotiation. The middle path is lethal in its clarity. When someone interrupts you repeatedly, stop. Look at them. Say calmly, "You interrupted me." Then say nothing else. Let the silence expand. Do not soften it. Do not justify why it bothers you. Do not cushion it with humor. The silence becomes the consequence. Humans fear exposure. The moment you clearly label behavior, the gray area disappears. They can no longer hide behind, "I didn't mean it." Now they must respond under social pressure. And that discomfort teaches faster than any emotional speech. Here is the critical rule. You say it once. If it happens again, you escalate through action, not repetition. Repeating yourself lowers authority. It signals you are trying to convince them to respect you. Respect is not negotiated. It is enforced through consistency. Niccolò Machiavelli emphasized that consequences must be decisive, not scattered. A single firm correction is powerful. Endless reminders are noise. When people realize you mean what you say the first time, behavior adjusts. If it doesn't, the solution is not louder words. It is reduced access. Fifth, refuse to justify your existence. You do not owe detailed reasoning for every boundary you set. When you say no and immediately follow with paragraphs of explanation, you transform your decision into a debate. High-ranking individuals do not debate their boundaries. They state them. "I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I've decided differently. Full stop." When you over-explain, you broadcast uncertainty. You signal that with enough pressure, your position can be changed. Niccolò Machiavelli observed that power comes not from titles but from how firmly one inhabits them. You inhabit your decisions by standing on them without apology. You can acknowledge someone's disappointment without surrendering your boundary. Understanding is not the same as compliance. Sixth, delay access to you. Instant availability decreases perceived value. This is not cruelty, it is psychology. Scarcity influences perception. When you are always immediately responsive, always adjusting, always reachable, your presence feels guaranteed. And what is guaranteed is rarely prioritized. Delay responses when appropriate. Do not rearrange your life impulsively for convenience. Check your schedule. Consider your energy. Respond when it suits you, not when pressure demands it. Niccolò Machiavelli understood timing as strategy. Delayed access signals that your life is full and structured. Those who respect you will adapt. Those who valued only convenience will reveal themselves through frustration. Either way, the hierarchy recalibrates. Finally, withdraw when patterns persist. Not dramatically, not emotionally. Quietly. When someone repeatedly ignores boundaries, your presence is no longer a gift they receive automatically. You reduce access. You stop initiating. You stop accommodating. You do not deliver exit speeches. You do not seek closure from those who ignored clarity. Words have already been given. Now behavior shifts. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that decisive action preserves authority. Lingering where you are disrespected destroys it. Withdrawal is not revenge. It is alignment. It communicates that your time, energy, and attention are conditional upon mutual respect. Tie this together. Respect is not created through niceness alone. It is created through consequence. You are not becoming cruel. You are becoming non-harmless. There is a difference. Harmful people injure for pleasure. Non-harmless people enforce boundaries when necessary. It only takes one moment handled differently to rewrite a dynamic. One interruption named, one boundary left unexplained, one instance of emotional neutrality, one quiet withdrawal. That single shift forces recalibration, because now the cost exists. And once cost exists, behavior changes. You matter. But people treat you according to the signals you send. Change the signal, and you change the outcome.